Libra, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for early July 2023. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business, as always, and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes into energy and see what's going on for the lovely Libra collective. I hope you're all doing fabulous, my friends. Let's see what's going on for you. My God, Spirit Team, talk to me. What's up with my friends? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card, then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean in on, which is always interesting. But let's get it going. Let's rock for the Libras. What do we got for my friends here? Gods and Spirit Team. Yeah, quick. First shuffle, that card popped out. They want to talk to you, my friends. Okay, so we do have this card that is reflecting on the past a little bit, or things that have already happened. This could also be surrounding communication as well. When we have this lady with the letter, lots of little intricate symbolism in this first card. Now, before we start pulling that apart and talking about it, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the July subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. Also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, into the reading. Let's talk about it. She has an awesome dress. I particularly like her hat, very stylish. But you see her, she's holding that letter and she's looking behind her. Now, if you had this particular oracle deck, you would know that she's part of a set. There's a dude who's looking at like a movie screen and they're kind of reflecting back and forth on each other. So it's part of a pair. This card is somebody looking back on something that's already happened, or the past in general. So a lot of Libras in this time, you might be prone to a lot of self-reflection about what you've done in the past, things that you've been through, for good, bad, or indifferent. It's showing up here. Now notice she is also holding a letter. There's also birds in the sky. So this does also underline and highlight communication or speaking with someone you might have a lot of history with. So these are very interesting ways to start off this reading. You know, I always say this first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a footnote, but I'm finding it interesting, the threads that it's starting us off with. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I'm going to get you 3 cards in the upright before we get the intuitive juiciness going. Shuffle it up here for you, Libra. Let's see what we got this week for my friends. So, let's talk about last week's reading while I get these cards ready. It was titled A Surprising Change. Now, I do recall I might have seen some 10 of Swords energy in your reading last week. Okay, and I could be wrong, but I did get a big vibe of things changing on a dime, whether that's emotional changes, changes in situation. There was a little bit of volatility in the energy last week, Libra. Okay, so I really want to see if that settles down this week. Yeah, you see the cards are like flopping out of my hands. They want to talk. But yeah, I want to see how this energy switches up, if it solidifies or if things are still moving for you. And you know, as I always say, energy is very fluid, never set in stone, so only take this how it hits for you. Because we could be seeing your vibe or someone you're linked to. Let's get you 3 cards. What do we got for the Libras here in early July? Guides and Spirit Team. Yeah, now the deck is being specific. All right, yeah, so here's this movable, fiery energy in position number 1. We are starting with a bang, my friends. We got the Knight of Wands leading us off. Interesting. Okay, that is like getting like just action, straight to action. Let's get 2 more. So whether it is linking with last week's reading or not, I find that intriguing. More fire. We do have the 10 of Wands. You might really need some rest, recuperation. Take care of yourself when this card shows up, my friends. Let's get 1 more. And we'll talk about all this. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. So interesting the way this energy is playing out. We got the Chariot on the back end, which is extra important with the season we're in right now. And you also have Temperance. So much fire, so much movable action in this week's reading. So let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, and we'll get that juicy intuitive stuff going. Now, at first glance, once again, I'll say it again, we have 2 major arcana here on the back end. We got 3 cards technically that represent fire. It's very movable, a little volatile. 2 of the fastest cards in the deck, in the Knight of Wands and the Chariot. So this is going to be interesting. There could be a lot of things up in the air, a lot of moving pieces. So let's break it down one by one. Position number 1, we got our good friend, the Knight of Wands. To me, this card obviously could represent any fire sign. So we're talking Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. If it doesn't represent a person in your life that's under those signs, when we see the Knight of Wands, we do think of forward movement, forward momentum. This is someone that is very fast to action. As with the Chariot, both of these cards could represent distance, they could represent travel, but this is super, super fiery. Now, every card has a positive and negative. The positive of this card is just big leaps and gains, making a lot of progress, a lot of improvement. But this card can also fly off the handle a little bit. It's a little temperamental. It could be a little explosive when we see this Knight of Wands. Unpredictable is the name of the game when we have this sometimes. So we're going to put him down there. If it's a person, it could sometimes represent a person that gets a lot of attention. Sometimes it could even be like a party animal type when we have the Knight of Wands. But moving into position number 2, we got the 10 of Wands. So interestingly, surrounding all this action, all this movement, we have a card of burdens. Now, the positives of this card, it could be someone who has a ton of determination. Regardless of what they're going through, they're going to keep pushing. They're going to get up that hill. It doesn't matter how much they're carrying on their shoulders. But once again, this is a card of burdens, whether it's emotional, mental, physical. This is somebody carrying a lot of weight on their shoulders. So when I see this, I always say, make sure you're taking care of yourself. Self-love, self-care is important. There might be someone who needs to recuperate in some sort of way, especially physical when we have this, okay? So watch out for any sort of sickness or illness. And this time, I'm not trying to be a fearmonger, but this card can represent that. Specifically in regards to the body and the vessel, this could speak about the neck, back, and spine. So you might need a little rub down, my friends. You might need a massage, but it's heavy, right? And if it's in the emotional sense, it could even be someone who's feeling a sense of like guilt in some sort of way. We're not going to fully go that route. But moving to the back end, we have the Chariot. Very, very fast. This might be the fastest card in the whole entire deck. Right up there with the 8 of Wands, Knight of Swords. This is a card that represents the zodiac sign of Cancer. Right now, at the time of this reading, we are in Cancer season. So in my style, this could be telling us about an event or something that's going to happen in Cancer season. This could tell us the overall vibe of what Cancer season might be for Libras. But once again, this is a card of forward movement, forward action, forward momentum. The negatives of this card, or the challenges of the Chariot, could be a little combative energy. Someone that's quick to fight. This could represent conflict, because remember, the Chariot is an instrument of war. So it's interesting to see. It could be travel. You might just be planning a trip, stuff like that. But we're not going to really read into it too much until we get a little further. Now, as we get to your bonus, let me just try to straighten these cards out. It's not as easy as it looks, trust me. Now, as your bonus, we have Temperance. This is linked to the zodiac sign of Sagittarius. You might be linked to one. If not, this is Archangel Michael, extremely protective. So maybe Spirit's just telling you like, hey, we're watching your back. We got your back. This is beautiful. It's reassuring. But this is also a card of taking it slow and having patience. So when we see all this speed, all this action, someone might need to slow it down a little bit and just like smell the roses or relax a little bit. That's a big vibe because there is a fiery, volatile energy. But with all that being said, Libra, let's dive deeper. We're going to jump in and clarify. Okay, one more shuffle here. Let's get a shuffle for the Libras, please, my guides. Yes, my friends, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot. Because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Knight of Wands. And yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you have any messages for the Libra Collective, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. All right, Knight of Wands time. What is this Knight of Wands here, please? Thank you. Okay. Yeah, this is somebody trying to break some sort of wall down here. Very fiery, my friends. All wands here in the front end. We have the 7 of Wands in reverse. And this, to me, doesn't feel like somebody giving up. This is someone saying, like, okay, I'm going to double down. Okay, I'm not giving up. I'm going to double down my efforts. I'm going to double down my energy. I'm going to keep it pushing. Okay, so if you've been dealing with someone that's been very persistent, or like this is somebody like putting their foot in the ground saying like, no, this is how it's going to be. This is how it has to be. Firm. Like that's kind of the vibe I'm picking up here. Generally, this card could represent somebody who's like, yeah, you know, them against the world or feeling trapped, but I'm getting this explosive energy as well, like coming off this. So the main two things I'm feeling is either one, someone saying, I'm going to double down my efforts and this is the route I'm going, or we have this explosive energy, because this is a trapped up energy in the upright. In reverse, it's like, no, boom, I'm going. So like this could be some sort of explosive action for sure. Okay, and I want to see if we get more of that flavor on the back end with the Chariot as well. Okay, so like somebody could make some sort of big move here or double down on how they're feeling. Let's go in on that 10 of Wands. Let's go in on that 10 of Wands. And that doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing, right? That could be good. So why is that 10 of Wands here? Thank you. Okay, Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, this is someone who's like really working themselves into the dirt. Okay, or this is someone that just works so hard right here in the center. We have the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Some of you might be having issues with a mother figure or an older feminine figure. It could be an earth sign with that Queen of Pentacles in reverse. But to me, this is like a can't stop, won't stop energy as well. And that first initial vibe I was getting was like, this person works so hard or puts in so much effort, it might make you feel bad for them in some sort of way. Take that. I know that's an odd message in a tarot reading, but that's just what I'm picking up here. The Queen of Pentacles, when she shows up in reverse, sometimes could represent money issues. So maybe there's like some financial things looming over some Libra's heads, but the main vibe I'm picking up here is like this person's gonna keep pushing regardless. Like if you tell them to slow down, they're not gonna, or they don't want to hear it. Like that's a vibe I'm picking up. Once again, for some of you, if you're connected to an earth sign, they might just have like a lot of guilt or a lot of things on their shoulders, right? A lot of regrets. But the main thing I'm feeling here is like this energy, this action that starts here is not going to slow when the going gets tough. That's just the vibe I'm picking up. So I'll let you do with that what you will. We're going to move over to the Chariot. That explosive energy, that action-based energy is still showing up here. So let's see what's up with that Chariot. Then we'll do a quick recap before we get into the shadow card. So why is that Chariot here? Please. Thank you. Eight of Pentacles in reverse. Interesting. Okay, and this could be someone that is hoping, you know, all the effort they put in up front can catch some sort of momentum. Okay, like, no, if I keep pushing, if I keep doing this, like, it's going to eventually catch momentum and snowball. Like, this is somebody that's hoping, like, if they just put in enough energy and put in enough work up front, the results are going to start replicating. These messages are, like, so out of nowhere, Libra. Take them for whatever they're worth. But the Eight of Pentacles in reverse could be someone moving on from a work situation. Like, listen, I need to find another job. I need to figure out a new way to make money. But the main thing I'm picking up here is, like, someone saying, like, I'm going to put in a lot of energy up front and hope that it starts to snowball. Like, this is so out of nowhere, my friends. It's either that or someone wanting to move on from a money or work situation. But once again, I'm getting that can't stop, won't stop type of energy, that explosive action type of energy from front to back. It's still showing up for me with this clarifier. Okay. And yeah, in this time, I did see little undertones in these back ends of like a little possible financial issues in this time. Okay, nothing to put up a big red flag about, but that's just what I'm picking up. Let's go through and do a quick recap here, Libra. I know these messages, like, just apply them to whatever you're going through, right? Whether it's romantic, partnerships, whatever. But let's go through before we get into the shadow card. If you kindly look in the box, position number one, and I did say, like, we have so much action, we have so much movement, so much fire. We have the Knight of Wands with the Seven of Wands in reverse. To me, this was that explosive action, like breaking free type of energy, or somebody doubling down, saying like, no, all right, well, maybe this wasn't enough. I'm going to keep at it. And it did feel a little stubborn in a sense too. Like, no, this is what I'm doing. This is the direction. I'm doubling down. Moving to the center, we have the Ten of Wands with that Queen of Pentacles in reverse. This was making me feel a few different things. You might be having issues with an earth sign or an older feminine figure. If not, this did feel like somebody who is like working themselves to the bone, or somebody that puts in so much effort that you might feel a little bad for them. That's kind of the vibe I was picking up, but still this movement based, this action of not giving up and keeping it pushing. Watch out for money issues as well with this centerpiece. But on the back end, we have the Chariot with the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. Once again, in the time of Cancer, there might be a little ups and downs in regards to work. But another vibe I'm picking up here is like, okay, either someone needs to change a situation quickly, like I need to change this work situation, I need to find something different. Or another vibe I was picking up here is someone trying to put forth so much energy and so much effort that they hope that their efforts begin to snowball and have momentum. So please do with that what you will, Libra. I know some of those messages, I mean, I'm not a Libra, so they weren't him for me, but let's get you a shadow card. You know, and if they weren't him for you, please look at your moon, rising, all that good stuff. But let's get you a shadow card. Interesting reading, though. What do we got in the shadows for Libra? Guides and spirit team. And yes, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end. I feel like it's nice and introspective. So let's see what's in the shadows for Libra. Thank you. Okay, we have the Eight of Cups. So it's interesting where we have this action, this dedication, this movement. Now in the shadows, we have the Eight of Cups, which can, in its shadow sense, be someone wanting to give up on something. So in this time, you might be tempted to walk away from something or give up on something, or there could be something linked to that looming around. But once again, this is an action-based type of card, and we've been seeing it throughout the whole entire spread. There's a lot of moving pieces. There's a lot of action happening here. For a portion of you, this Eight of Cups could represent somebody who may have abandonment issues, or someone who is nervous about things like that, like nervous about getting left in the dust or something like that. So do with that what you will. We're not going to pound that message home. It is what it is. But there's just so much action. It's almost frantic in this week's reading, Libra. So please, that's what I have for you this week, my friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the July subscriber surprise. If you got your name in for the June subscriber surprise, the winners will be announced in my community tab after this week's fire and air signs readings. But for July, I'll be giving away 2 copies of the Everyday Witches Tarot. Once again, one of my favorite decks and one of the first ones I ever gave away on this channel. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, 2 simple things as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed, which I'm sure you already are. And second, let me know down in the comments, out of all the tarot suits, which one has your favorite art style? Is it the swords, wands, pentacles, cups, even the major arcana? You'll be entered to win. And at the end of July, I'll put the winners in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.